I meant to put it in landscape mode, but looks like we're going in this mode. I've just had people complain about this mode, so I think it was Boy. And I want Boy to come watch me. He does sometimes. Sometimes I'm blessed with Boy's chats and what have you. Why'd I bring my kids' homework out here with me? What the fuck was I thinking? I didn't look. Good. Good, bro. It's like, if you ever have to do your kids' homework, math homework these days, it's not the same as it used to be when we were in school. Us people in our 40s. I'm almost 50. But when I was a kid, I didn't know. We didn't use these terms that they're using now. Like, it says, divide the add-ins and use a number line and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't remember having to do any of that shit. I mean, it's just like, adding and subtracting. My kid's in 3rd grade, But check it out. I was helping him with his homework one night. This is like this. It was this school year. He's in 3rd grade, and one of the math problems was it was like Jim won $50 at the slot machine, and his husband won $240 at the blackjack table or whatever. It's like, what did both of their winnings add up to? I was gonna say, how much money did they have to spend at this gay strip club later that night? No, but that's not. They just asked what the total was. But I'm just like, you see what's happening here? They're making children do math problems in 3rd grade, where there's like these subtle implications. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know how subtle that is. I caught it right away. We were just laughing right away. It's like, Jim won $40 at the slot machines. There's a 3rd grade math problem, and his husband won $50 on the blackjack table or whatever. And it's like, so like, really, you don't really care. I mean, the answer is like, how much did they win altogether? And it's like, are you more concerned about the fact that there's 2 gay dudes gambling than you are about how much money they won? What is this math problem? I mean, it's like, this is called indoctrination on the subtle. It's like, oh, we're just trying to be inclusive with the way we write our math problems. I'm like, yeah, okay. I didn't talk to anybody about it. I mean, it's pretty much child's play. And since I was there with them and I caught it and we had a big laugh out of it, I was like, tell you what, Rylan, you don't have to do this. Like, I officially dismiss you from having to do any more gay math homework. So we don't do gay math. We just I put my foot down. There's not going to be any gay math homework being done here. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I think it's pretty creepy. And it's not because I think gay people are creepy. It's because I think it's a departure from just, I'm trying to say, it's like conventional, like family life. Like, sure, there might be some kids in school that have gay parents, or 2 dads or whatever. And it's like, how come none of the math problems ever talk about the type of parents that I have, They want some kid of a gay family to feel special or something. I'm trying to think of the logic that you would include or like support that sort of weird, subtle little. We're gonna slide into some sexual preferences here into your math homework and see if you catch that. See if your parents notice. See if there's any problems with that at all. That's like divisions. Yes. Divisions. Long divisions, short divisions. All right, there's someone here. You want to hear what my truth or dare is? I'm going to truth or dare the truther community. Anyone who would like to consider themselves a truth seeker, and it should be everybody, but some people don't really make that their mission in life necessarily, where there are some people that actually just call themselves truthers, such as I. And what that means is that we're just looking for the truth, and we try to be as honest as possible while doing it, because we don't want to participate in deception. we don't want to have anything to do with it. We're trying to get past that, trying to break the deception and seek truth and push the deception away, and just shatter it to where nobody can be deceived anymore, because it's not good. Nobody wants to be deceived. Nobody does. There's people that want to deceive, and those are the people we're trying to suss out here and there, but really it's between them and God. That's what it boils down to. It's not really our mission to suss them out and like expose them. I mean, we can consider that our mission, but ultimately what we're just doing is seeking the truth, and if we see lies, we want to try to shatter them, but there has to be some metric as to how that's being done. And like, I've noticed that there really isn't much of a clear, there's not like a clear line, or I think there is personally, but it's like, I don't know where. I mean, I think what we're stuck with is just like the court of law. Like, I mean, since we don't seem to have like any declared, like, just, we're not in a court of law right now here on the internet, but there is sort of like, what they used to call like, schoolyard justice or whatever. I don't know how they call it now, but it's like internet. And the point I'm making is that we're not in court, but we're like, as truthers lately in the flat earth community especially, it's people are on trial basically, and it's gotten to the point where it's kind of dividing up everybody. And as much as I want to see people stay united, I'm also glad that people are just being themselves. That's what being a truther is all about. Just fucking let it all hang out. And I don't think anybody that I've noticed within the people that I normally hang out with online, I don't see any of them necessarily being deceivers, although I do see them as being eager to jump to conclusions and cast accusations. And I think that's dangerous. And I think that because, we're not trying to, if we're wrong about those kind of accusations and just judgments being cast upon people that we normally would have respected or just watch their show or go and talk to them in chats or whatever, as people that we would consider internet friendly with, whatever that we've learned from and whatnot. If we're just going to be casting, negative accusations on people, as some extreme ones have been going around, and I'm just like you got to make sure you're fucking one. For me, I'm not going to start. I'm not that loose with my words, or I don't want to treat people badly. I'm really concerned about that. I try not to ever say anything insulting to anybody online, and if I do, I usually catch myself, and I'm like, it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. If it's somebody who's being insulting to me, that's when I especially try to watch my behavior, because or just respond with kindness in my heart. I'm not a mean person at all, but I've had to be mean before in my life, and I'm really making an effort. And that's my New Year's resolution. Is like, I don't want to fucking be insulting to anybody. It's not necessary. How's that going to achieve anything good? In my opinion, I mean, sure, there's plenty of times when I've wanted to recently, but I've just held back, and it doesn't mean you got to be like a kiss ass or something, but it's like, you can hold your ground. You don't need to be insulting. That's what I'm realizing. You don't have to be insulting to hold your ground. And in fact, once you start doing this, it's an effort you have to make. Because I used to talk shit here and there, I'm just like anybody else, but it's like I'm really making that effort, because now I'm noticing that when I see people doing that, talking mad shit, like it's like, dude, they're projecting. It's fucking weird. You don't notice it when you're doing it. You don't think that's what's happening. But like, I just wish I could put that out into the community, be like, dude, that projection is a real thing. It is a real thing. It's not like something that just happens to a select few here and there, they're projecting, it's like, no, most people that are fucking spitting all kinds of negative shit, they're telling you about who they are. And I don't mean to talk trash about anybody. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm trying to tell people, you might want to be careful about that, because like, well, whatever, I just do whatever you gotta do. But I mean, it's like, for me, I'm just talking about my own opinion here. This is my spiel. I think I'm daring people to not be insulting. I know that's difficult, but how about this? How about, don't make any serious accusations unless you feel confident, like, and I mean for real, like that you could take it into a court of law, present your case, say it's a case of fraud. You're trying to prove somebody's committing a major fraud and trying to pass it off as something that it isn't. you better get that case fucking airtight before you even make that accusation. And then once you do, you better fucking present that case to where just about anybody has to be able to look at it and be like, okay, you're fucking right. That's definitely fraud. If most people are going to look at it and be like, I don't know, then that ain't going to fly. It's got to be able to be explained in no other way but fraud. Like if you're going to go, well, maybe he might have been doing that, or he could have. It looks like he's doing this, but he said he's doing that, but so it could be either one. But I think it's this one. But everyone else thinks it's that. But if there's any him and han, it's like no. You got to put that away. If there's an explanation that's possible, that's plausible, deniability, a court of law is pretty fair, right? We're trying to be fair. That's how a court is designed. The laws are designed to try to be fair. Granted, they're not always fair, but it's like that's what the idea is. At least we're trying. That's the metric we're going on here. Because some people can be wrongly accused and get sentenced and be, and it's like that's a crime, And like people, lose valuable time in their life. But time is priceless. It's the most valuable thing we got. And so, like, if you take that from somebody, that's a crime. Take it from them wrongfully, And there's all kinds of other shit that comes with that too, It's like basically kidnapping someone and putting them in jail or whatever. I mean, so it has to be fair, is my point. And like, so if you're trying to be fair, then what you would want to do is just, you might think something's fraudulent or something, but you might just want to bite your tongue on that in case maybe you're wrong. I mean, have you ever been wrong before about something? I have. And I just, there's probably times when I was wrong about something and I wish I hadn't just made a big ass of myself, because I have been. I'm trying to think of an example. Everybody's been wrong once or twice, or 10 or 20 times, But like, so just with that in mind, nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, and can interpret things differently when they don't have the whole story or whatever, and just not think about the whole picture and like how much other stuff would have had to be true for that to actually be what you're witnessing, like all the other elements of the fucking equation, all the other people that would have had to been involved and all this other shit. There's a big ball of wax. You got to take it all into consideration if you're trying to prove that something is fraudulent, as an example, right? So you got to treat this like you were. I mean, if you're talking about people that are like well known, and it's like there's a gathering of people online. These are real people. It's not just like digits on a screen. It's like, well, that's what makes this so. So that's why this is actually considered engagement, because we're like interacting with each other and we're learning, and there's something happening here. This is real. So like, in order to just have some good politics, you want to make sure that you don't start treating other people in a way you wouldn't want to be treated. It's called the golden rule. And what most people seem to live by is the golden shower rule. That's what I call it, the golden shower rule, which is like do unto others as they've done to you. And that ends up being kind of a reverse. Because, I mean, there's always going to be someone that's in a bad mood and they piss on somebody and then everybody gets a golden shower, It just goes, shit rolls downhill. The golden rule is like the opposite of that. It's like somebody might treat you like shit, but you don't want to be treated like shit. So you're not going to go around treating people like shit, even though somebody else treated you like shit. That doesn't mean you should just keep treating people like shit because you were. You just have to, it's like turn the other cheek kind of thing, or just whatever. Don't hang out with them again. But like, in the case where you're like kind of making accusations of people, and like accusing these people of being like, which is would otherwise be considered like a really bad person, causing major like, confusion and just, causing a big, like a big fucking obstruction in the pursuit of truth. That's what I consider to be, slightly criminal, and like in the sense where it's like, we don't want to have those kind of people around us, influencing us if they're going to be like trying to lead us in the wrong direction deliberately, and working for people that are like, outright just what I would consider evil. I do consider some of the things that we discuss online here and as truthers as being slightly like volatile and like some of it gets pretty dark, you know. I mean, I stay pretty positive, and that's why I like the flat Earth conspiracy topic, because it's talking about something that I think is true and real, and it's such a grand orchestration. The level of deception taking place on that note with our cosmology, it's fucking mind-boggling, and it's such a huge topic. It's outrageous, and it's really, you know, it's one of those things that it seems crazy at first, you know, but then you start realizing how crazy it is. You start realizing how it's not really that crazy, because that's an objective reality, but but just you start realizing, wow, there's like a really serious trick being played on us right now. This is crazy. It's fucking mind-boggling. And it's not like just your average trick, you know. Like, it's brilliant, and it's been going on. It took so long for this, and it's based on reality, and it's like it's fucking so massive. And you know, on one hand, the lie being perpetrated, it actually has a lot of truth, you know, woven throughout it. It has to, because it's about our reality, you know. It's like, so it's like our reality explained through a like certain lens, and you know, and it has to be true on the level that we interact with it. But at the point where our scope falls off, or we have no way of verifying certain things, that's when it all starts to really, the magic starts to happen. Because it's like you're going to design your globe Earth, spinning, rotating ball Earth through a vacuum chasing around the sun model. It's going to build it off of the observations you're making here on the ground. and so it has to be designed in such a way to where every observation that we make from the ground can be explained through that lens. It's like, you know, we're on a spinning ball that's orbiting the sun. Because if you think about it objectively, actually we live here in this realm, you know, on this plane of existence, and you know, underneath us is just like terra firma, and above us is like this magical, like the heavens, you know, they've been referred to as a place we don't have access to. We just look at it and watch the cycle take place, and it's a really deep pattern that we watch. You know, there's nothing like haphazard about it at all. It looks beautiful, and it's just long. I'm freezing, by the way. If you didn't notice that, my voice sounds kind of it's fucking cold here right now. But like, we don't necessarily witness the solar system, the heliocentric model. I mean, we do, but it's like, it's an abstract idea. If you come into it, you know, like if you were taught the heliocentric model as an adult, they got to hit you with it when you're a kid, when you're still malleable, because it's not what you know, it doesn't look like we're flying around the sun. That seems like an abstract idea. If that's what you've always been taught, that's what everybody else believes, and teachers, you know, then it doesn't seem abstract anymore, you know. But then when it's brought to your attention later that it actually is abstract, and then you sit and think about it, you're like, wow, yeah, that's right. That is pretty crazy, isn't it? We just kind of accepted it on faith. There's got to be some science behind that. You start looking into the science, you're like, you know what? A lot of this science is kind of just like, we got to take somebody's word for it, you know. I didn't think science was like that. I thought it seems like a lot of the things that we end up checking into, we're like, wait, it's not exactly true, because look at this. And then it's like, oh, but then there's this excuse that comes at you. Oh, well, in this case, it's blah, 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 and it's like, oh, okay, there's an excuse, an explanation. Okay, great. Wait, how's there a lunar eclipse happening while the sun's still in the sky? Why is this shadow coming into it from the top? What are we witnessing here? Oh, it's called the impossible eclipse. It happens on a schedule. What? Oh, it was scientific, because of diffraction, refraction, blah, blah, blah. So a bunch more excuses? Hold on a second, man. I don't know. And it's called the impossible eclipse. It's, so are you gaslighting me? Because it's obviously possible, right? It's happening on a schedule. So there's some gaslighting taking place here in your model? Like, is it a joke or something? What are you trying to say? Well, it's called the selenilian. It's got a name. We just call it the impossible eclipse because it's like it shouldn't be happening. Okay. Well, I'd call that like red check number one. Red flag. Ding! If you're paying attention. How come we don't feel any motion? We're orbiting and spinning and all this shit. Seems kind of crazy that there's no disturbance from any of the motion. We don't see any evidence of this. We don't feel it. We can't measure it necessarily. We measure it off the sky, but it could just be the sky, right? Well, no, like imagine if you're on a train and you jump, and then you land back right where you jumped from, because the train's moving, but you're moving with the speed of the train. So it's like it doesn't, if the train remains at the constant speed, like you don't feel, you don't notice because you're just within that frame of reference. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense. There's a reason. Okay, good. Explanation. I like those. It makes sense. And I don't feel so weird anymore because I was believing something that seemed kind of crazy for a second. That makes sense. That checks out. All right, but aren't we orbiting the sun? That would be like a circular path, right? That'd be like they call it an ellipse. That's sort of like an oval. So I guess basically it'd be like we're on a train. It's making a constant left turn, but it's so gradual you don't really notice it, I guess. But we don't have a roof on our train or any walls. So it'd be like we're on a flatbed train making a constant left turn that slows down and speeds up, because an oval, you'd have to change speed, It's not quite circular, so it's not a constant speed, it's a constant left turn, and there's no walls or roof. This train ride is starting to seem kind of sketchy to me. But okay, I'll give you that if that's what you say. Some scientist must have figured that shit out, because it doesn't make sense to me now that I'm thinking about it. But okay. And then there's this vacuum. And none of us feel upside down. That is kind of crazy. That we'd be on a ball, on the outside of a ball, and nobody feels upside down. It's like we're always on the top of the ball, every one of us, everywhere we go. If you just fell through the earth, you'd come out upside down on your head. That's silly. But I guess we wouldn't make it all the way through the earth because the gravity would just crush us into lava. That's what happens. Gravity is just so strong, it smashes everything into lava if you get deep enough. Or wait, what if we dug a hole down to where it turns into lava? Would you would just turn to lava when you got down there? Even if there was nothing pressing down on you? It's just the gravity that makes the lava? Or is it just the weight? Or the weight that makes the gravity? What is gravity? Oh, well, we don't really know. It's just 9.8 meters squared per second. So it's just the rate of fall. That's all you got? Well, we have the, Newtonian gravity, and there's Einsteinian gravity, and it's based on the stellar movements and the fucking. Okay, you're getting over my head now, man. Just like, so what is gravity? It's just what keeps us on the outside of a ball, then, I guess. So you need gravity so we don't feel like we're upside down. It's just magic force that kind of sorts everything out for us, so none of us get to feel upside down. That's like magic or something, and it's something you can't really necessarily prove. It's just the rate of fall. The proof of your gravity is that we live on the outside of a ball, basically, and we don't notice. So where's the proof that we live on the outside of the ball? Well, we went to space, we went to the moon, and we saw it. Oh, okay, cool. It's all been figured out then. It's all good then. All right, phew. It's starting to seem kind of crazy for a second there. We went to the moon. At least we know that we're on a ball then. What's up for those people that say the moon landing was fake? They're crazy, right? Oh yeah, they're conspiracy theorists. They're science deniers. They don't believe in all that stuff. They think it's crazy. They think it's like a big hoax that everybody was all in on it. All the thousands of people, so many people were in on it. My uncle built the design for the blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, it's too many people would have to know about it. There's no way that could be kept secret. I was tripping for a second. How long did it take them to get to the moon and back? That's crazy. How far away is it? 250,000 miles? Whoa. How long did it take to get there and back? 6 days? 6 days in a little spaceship? How many 3 dudes in one little spaceship? Man, that's crazy. Did anybody die? Seems like there'd be some serious, like, sketchy shit going on. Nobody died? Well, somebody did die, but that was on Earth. Oh, fuck. But nobody died on the sketchy moon mission? Not one person? How many times did they go there? 6 times? Wow. And nobody died? Nobody even got hurt? That's crazy. So you gotta have a spacesuit on out there in the vacuum, I guess, right? That's crazy. In like a vacuum? Do they test them in a vacuum chamber here on Earth? Probably. I mean, what do you mean? Probably. They would have to, right? They'd have to know their spacesuit worked before they got out into space and tried it, right? Well, yeah. I want to see videos of that. That's some pretty fancy science. I want to see how they did that. Well, there's no videos of it. Well, there's this video of this one pilot. He's like an Air Force guy, and there's other people in the room that don't have masks on, but it's what? I want to see an astronaut in a spacesuit. I want to see how they figured that out. There's got to be some. It's kind of like a crazy learning curve. I mean, how do you test something like that? I mean, how do you know that you got it right? You got to test it on Earth, right? In a vacuum chamber. That's similar to the vacuum of space that you're going to. You'd have to test it first, right? Well, yeah. Well, we just knew that it was going to work. Okay, it's starting to sound kind of fishy, man. How do you make air for 6 days? They didn't run out of air? That seems kind of crazy. How do they? There got to be some way to make air. I don't know about all this stuff. It's pretty interesting. I should start looking into it. Oh, no. Let's don't look into it. Don't look into it at all. No. They brought a dune buggy up there. I remember seeing them riding around in a dune buggy on the moon in their spacesuit. That's fucking crazy. Wow, they must have had fun. I remember seeing them singing and dancing, running around, having fun. They had a blast. They weren't even worried at all, huh? They knew that shit wasn't gonna fucking... They knew their spacesuit wasn't gonna fail. They knew they weren't gonna die. They filmed it live on TV. They knew nobody was gonna die. That makes sense. Nothing scary about a vacuum where there's no air. What could go wrong? You wouldn't go out there unless you were prepared. 6 days in a vacuum. Yeah, that sounds like something we could do. Totally. No problem. It'd be fun. I'd be having fun too. I wouldn't be scared at all. Totally. If I knew my spacesuit wasn't going to fail and we had plenty of air, I wouldn't be tripping. Cramped in a fucking tinfoil spaceship. No, I wouldn't be tripping at all. 6 days. Spacesuit. No, it'd be fun floating around and shit. All floaty and shit. Having a shit in your own fucking spacesuit. Carry all your shit with you. Fucking. What the fuck would you can't open up your spaceship and flush the toilet. I mean, this guy, everybody had to poop in there, and it's this small little area. I just wouldn't shit the whole time. I would just like fast. But you gotta be strong. You gotta be alert. You gotta be all like in shape. You gotta have the right stuff. I'm starting to feel like I've been deceived here a little bit. Wait a minute. Is our only proof that we live on a ball the fact they went to the moon? That's the only time it's been witnessed, actually, in real life? Well, that's kind of fishy, because that story sounds pretty hard to believe when you think about it. Not to mention they lost the technology and they haven't been back. How do you lose technology? I mean, what was it, like a reset or something? Like, what the fuck happened? I mean, how do you lose technology? I mean, I've lost a lot of phones and shit, but I go buy a new one. How do you lose it altogether? I mean, when you lose your phone, you go to get, we lost the technology. We don't have phones anymore. What the fuck? What do you mean? It's a painful process to build it back, man. You don't even know. It took a while, and we just lost it. I want a phone now. I lost my phone. We lost the technology is gone? What? Somebody's yanking my fucking chain, man. I don't appreciate that shit at all. Is this a joke? This gotta be a joke. 6 days in a spaceship, there's gotta be like, you gotta have some data, like, from all that, like some telemetry data, like how fast they were going. 25,000 miles per hour? What? What? You know how fast a bullet is? It's like 1,000 something. 25,000. A speeding bullet. I mean, it's pretty hard to witness that. You don't really see it necessarily. It's that fast. But 25,000 miles per fucking hour? A person was going that fast? Okay, this is really starting to sound kind of fucked up, man. Like, you come back to Earth, you enter the atmosphere, everything just incinerates. It's going so fast. It turns into flame, lava, it's gone. But they didn't. Well, they had a heat shield. A heat shield? Why doesn't the heat shield incinerate? What makes it so impervious to the same shit that everything else was incinerating? What fancy heat shield did they have? How did that not incinerate? Everything else incinerates except for fancy heat shields? I bet you practiced that one a lot before you tried it for the first time. I'd like to see some of that. What material do you use for that? Like, what kind of fancy material you get? It's a special space alloy made from asteroid metals gathered from Pluto. There's got to be some evidence still. We lost the telemetry data. We lost the fucking technology. We haven't been back. You guys, I mean, you think 6 trips to the moon, I guess that's just all you felt like you had to do there. Maybe there wasn't really much going on there. You don't feel like you need to go back. I guess it makes sense that you would lose the technology and the telemetry. You just throw it away. Whatever. We're not going back there. We went 6 times. People weren't even interested after a while. People were like, oh, they're going to the moon again. Oh, yeah, but the game's on. People lost interest, so we just stopped going. Yeah, but now there's some people questioning whether you even went. Why don't you go back? You should go back now so you could prove that that it's something that's possible. There's a whole new generation of people that, like, their parents don't believe it because they weren't even alive then. So it's like you gotta do it again, We're going back. 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 Yeah, we're going back. We need some gay scientists. We're going back. We're going to put the first gay black man on the moon and a Jew. No, I think they've already had Jews up there, probably. That was probably the first people that went. Freemason Jews. I'm going to try to play a song before I freeze my balls off. The first man on the moon was a Freemason Jew. He had to get rid of their poo. And then they found some other things to do. They hit a few golf balls and drove off in their golf cart. Stuck a little flag in the ground. Then called up Richard Nixon on the phone. Said, we're on the moon, we're coming back home. He said, God bless you, you're so brave on the golf course in the sky. That kind of science is priceless. Gather up some moon rocks and come on home. They did just that without a hitch. It wasn't really much of an issue. We miss you, come back home please. They landed in the Big Drink. There's a lot of water out there in the ocean, but we knew right where to find them. We scooped them right out. Yeah, give these guys a few days to decompress and get them back up in front of the press. And fuck you, now they're stressed. Now they don't look quite so happy anymore. Maybe they should have stayed back up there on the moon where they were having a good time. Now they look kind of sad. I feel kind of bad. So what'd you guys see up there? See some stars in space? I don't remember seeing any stars. What? First guy goes to space, comes back, says he didn't see no stars.
I'd say we've officially hit red flag number 2. It's been a long, hard ride from here clear to the other side, but it's gonna be smooth sailing from now on. Oh yeah, it's been a long, hard ride from here clear to the other side, but it's gonna be smooth sailing from now on. Yeah. Once you finally realize you're not and you never were, spinning around in a vacuum for no reason at all, living on the outside of a bone. And I got no reason to believe that 8,000 miles on my feet right now, there's people upside down. No reason to believe any of that bullshit. I had enough of it, yes indeed. Oh, well, it's been a long, hard ride from here clear to the other side, but it's gonna be smooth sailing from now on. Once you finally realize you're not and you never were, spinning around haphazardly through outer space, everything falls right back into place. I'm freezing, excuse me. Freezing my nuts off. Once upon a bit, space and time, we can curve in a straight line, put a dumb idea in your mind and think it's true. Cause it's not true at all. The earth is flat, not a ball. He thought we were kidding. You used to laugh about everything we were talking about, but now you don't laugh so loud. Now you don't seem very proud, trying to defend something that obviously just isn't real. Oh, how does it feel? Yeah, how does it feel? Finally finding out that you're home. Different story than what you told. And it's a stationary stone. Yeah, you went to the same school we all did. That's cool, but you know they never really taught you anything true. And no one ever taught you to go out and prove anything for yourself. You just got used to it. Now you seem to be compromised as you stare up into the supposed vacuum of the sky. me different stories that you would tell. And that's the special place. Well, you never turned around to see the frowns on the Neil deGrasse clowns when they did their little tricks for you. You never understood that it ain't no good. You shouldn't let people like that tell you what the fuck is true. God, I'm fucking cold. I don't think I can do this much longer. Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he lay, flat was his home. They say he rolled away one cold day. Now he's out there rolling, still rolling down this hill. The further he rolled, the bigger he got, until he got so big that he could not stop. Roll on, Papa. Woo! Yeah, Papa was a rolling snowball. Flat was his home. They said he rolled away one cold day. Now he's out there rolling still down this hill. He burst through the front door, proceeded to melt into a puddle on the floor. Till Mama came in and mopped his ass up. Oh, Papa! Woo! I'm a snowball dude, rolling after you. Whoop. Wherever you lay flat is your home. You're picking yourself off the ground. You think something's been lost? I think it never really was found. Life can get hectic. You should expect it. Release yourself. Don't get yourself out. 'Cause what if you like it rough, if you like it rough, you'll like this stuff. Like it rough, you'll like this stuff. Pull yourself together before you decay. Save yourself. like it rough. It's rough. Don't like this stuff. Like it rough. If you like it rough. Like it rough. Like this stuff. If you like it rough, if you like it rough, then you'll like this. At the end of the song, I just have to say, you like it. It's not if or do you. No, it's just, you like it rough. You like it rough. I don't normally do that at the end. I think I'm going to do that from now on. No, just, you like it rough. I'll leave you with that final statement. I wrote that song about 10 or 15 years ago, and I just recently finished writing it, I guess. Because I used to just end a song after the singing was over, but I added all the guitar licks that I do at the end now, which I kind of sing over, but I don't have really words for it, which is now like my favorite part of the song. I'm like, it's so fun, I love it. It's like this song, where are we now? Where did this song take us in a whole different direction? We're in somewhere else. We're in some other place. But then you get reminded right at the you like it rough, by the way. In case you forgot. You like it rough. I don't know where I came up with all that shit, but I like it. I like it. You're good, Dr. Bass. Keep up the good work. Truth or dare, I dare you to be true. If we're truthers, then we should be true. We should say things that are true. And we should be careful about that, because if we say things that later get shown to not be true, well, then that would mean that whole period of time where we were saying these things that weren't true, that would mean that we were basically full of shit and misleading people and slandering people and and basically losing all credibility and causing, strife and unnecessary, friction and all kinds of negative things that we'd probably like to avoid in our lives. Where you could have just not said something, you know. Maybe you might have thought something, but you maybe just could have held your tongue there a little bit just to avoid causing any unnecessary, you know, negative shit in people's lives, because it's like the golden rule kind of thing. And then later, if it gets shown to be that you were correct, you might say it in passing and be like, I don't know about that, but just, whatever. And then later you'd be like, remember when I said I don't know about that? Yeah. Then you can get your pat on the back. But like until then, man, if you just run your mouth and you end up being wrong, that's got to be a gross feeling. I'd like you to avoid that. I'm avoiding it. I'm doing the best I can because I don't want to have that be my life at some point. I really would feel bad. I'd probably have to go find something else to do at that point. Or just whatever, a new social circle or something. I'd be so embarrassed. I'd feel low. I'd feel really low. And, I feel a lot more low than if I later found out that the thing I was thinking was all good or whatever, or didn't really have an opinion about, turns out it was fake. I'd be like, oh, joke's on me. I wouldn't have to change anything. I wouldn't have to make any apologies or go like, you know what I mean? I'd just be like, oh, that sucks. Versus feeling like a total asshole, like you got to weigh these things and you think about, look ahead into the future and see how this might pan out, and be like, well, do I want to be like, oh, well, joke's on me, that feeling, or do I want to feel like, oh, fuck, I can't talk to these people anymore. Oh, man, this is bad. Which one seems more desirable? I mean, just think about that, just run that through your old thinker there. If you're a truther, just be real, be you. But if you're a wise person, don't speak too soon. Don't be too eager to cast accusations. And certainly don't project all your negative shit onto people. Nobody wants to hear that. Oh, man. Don't engage in a negative shit talking either. If someone's talking negative shit to you, don't just make it a point to come up and just fucking rant a bunch of negative shit online. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't. Maybe there are people that do. I don't know. But I think most people are just like, oh, brother, not this shit again. Nobody wants to hear someone call a bunch of people a bunch of names. That's just why. For me, for someone who's trying to keep from doing that, I'm making a conscious effort about that. I look at that and I'm like, oh, they're projecting. Okay, well, I'm not a big fan of that person anymore. I might still go watch their show just for shits and giggles, but I don't really take them as serious as I used to. Because it's just not very mature, and it's not very inspiring, and it doesn't leave much of a good taste in my mouth. I just sit there and I'm like, ugh, I feel gross. I don't want to think all this negative shit about people. Nobody's like all, what I mean? It's like, there's not one person that should be standing above anybody else, really. So, to like talk down to somebody is like basically asserting that you aggressively actually implying that you are of some higher standing than the person you're talking down to, and that's just pretty harsh, man. And every minute of the day there's another sucker born. No matter how much you might warn them, they succumb every time. Across the line, we've seen it all before. We know the score. You're an open book, so easy to read. We've read this one before, so you're just a time bomb ticking. And now the plot has thickened, but it sickens you knowing what you've done. for you to look. And when you do, you have sinned. He's always waiting. Now Satan rhymes with Peyton, and he's baiting that hook, always trying to reel you back in. And it's a slippery slope as you slide down alone. And he'll throw you a rope and throw you a bone, and you'll come back home thinking he's your friend, up until the end when you discover he's not your brother. Undercover, Satan rhymes with hating, and he's baiting that hook, always trying to reel you in. Oh, yes, he's sitting there waiting for you to look. You're like an open book. Yes, he's sitting there waiting for you to look. You're like an open book. Alright, I'm freezing my balls off. I gotta go. Oops. Thanks for watching me. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, my phone's making me do something here. I'm trying to say goodbye, but it's not that easy. It's not easy saying goodbye. Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for watching me. Keep it positive. Let's keep on the up and up. Stay happy. Stay good. Treat each other good. Love each other. Spread good vibes, not bad. Lift each other up. Let's raise the vibration.